Tonight on The Edge, we had a beautiful day, but some stormy weather, it's on the way.
Yeah, we did. New meteorologist Stephanie Mead has a look at what we can expect this weekend.
Yeah, so we do have storms, we do have wind on the way, and then slightly cooler temperatures. Right now, we've been hovering in the 60s from Detroit, extending into Ludington at 68. Still in the 70s in the Chicagoland area, but you notice where we see some cooler air, that's actually where we're picking up on some of the severe weather for right now. 54 tonight for an overnight low. That area of low pressure circulating out near the Plain States. Out ahead of that, widespread severe weather from Wisconsin extending all the way down into Missouri right now, and this is going to slide its way to the east. We have tornado watches in play, severe thunderstorm watches in play too from Milwaukee into the Chicagoland area, and then tornado watches down into, say, the Gulf states. So this is a very large system that's impacting a good bulk of the U.S. right now. Most of the severe weather for tonight is going to be from Illinois, Missouri, and then extending down into the Ohio Valley. Now for tomorrow, we do have that risk for picking up on maybe an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm. A good bulk again of that severe weather is going to be south of us into Mississippi and Alabama. This marginal risk here locally for us, it is a low end severe weather risk, a level 1 out of 5. We do have the potential for picking up on an isolated storm, but it's not going to be a widespread event by any means. The main threat, high winds, also seeing maybe some heavier downpours out of this. On the low end of our severe weather risk is going to be that potential for maybe an isolated tornado. So as we head through the overnight, by 4 o'clock should be in southwestern parts of the state, and we could see maybe a thunder shower early tomorrow morning closer to 7:30, 8 o'clock. Little break from the action here. By around 11 o'clock in the morning, there could also be some sunshine too. That's going to continue through about 2 o'clock, and then additional shower and storm chances return tomorrow evening, and that's when we pick up on that chance of a spotty shower or thunderstorm turning severe. So there's that risk for us here. Showers move out by, say, Saturday morning. Otherwise, we're anticipating about an inch or so of some rain from this. Also cooler temps as well. We'll be in the 50s on Sunday, low 50s by early next week. Parade looks okay outside of seeing maybe a stray shower chance early on. It's just going to be breezy and cooler. We're in the 60s and then 40s as we head through the end of next week. Over to you guys.
Well, it turns out even bank robbers like to ride around town in style.
Police are looking for a suspect who rented a very pricey Rolls-Royce and then held up several banks across Metro Detroit.
I still don't understand. I want to know what happened. Why?
I don't get it either. Who rents a $500,000 SUV to rob banks?
I think it was my favorite car, Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
A one-of-a-kind Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Check out that orange inside.
This is our main car in the company. Yeah, I wish you took something else.
This week, a customer rented the Rolls at $1,750 a day from Dream Luxury Car Rental in Southfield. When the spree started, the man traversing Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties, robbing banks along the way. The case in the hands of the FBI, so it's unclear how many this Rolls and the renter are tied to. Sam Zahar didn't even know it was going on, finding out while scrolling his phone, seeing this video on Metro Detroit News.
I was like, this is my car. I got a screenshot and I tried to, that's my car.
And for a few minutes, Sam, the owner of the rental company, was in the crosshairs of investigators.
That was about probably 4 detectives by my house driving around thinking I stole the bank because the car's under my name.
The driver led police on a chase, then bailed and ran on the city's east side Wednesday night. Police able to recover the SUV with about $15,000 in damages. The driver on the run. This isn't the first time, won't be the last. A few months ago, someone rented a car from Sam, then robbed a mail truck. Even on Fox 2 before, after some renters took a G-Wagon for a joyride. And most recently, a $300,000 Rolls, likely stolen during transport from Miami here to Detroit.
We put a lot of smiles in people's face, but we pay a lot of prices too for doing business in Detroit.
Brandon, the key fob alone on that Rolls-Royce, $4,000. So thankfully the car was returned. Right. No one was hurt. But the guy who did this is still out there. Police are looking for him.
Any indication that this feels more like a social media type thing, a trend that we're seeing?
Yeah, possibly. I know that these cars, a lot of them are rented for, you know, fine events, but some of them are for like music video shoots and that kind of thing. So who knows? You do anything for TikTok nowadays. So.
I guess you got to spend money to steal money these days.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tonight we're hearing from 2 former employees of the Oxford Center who say they want the place closed for good.
So that's the location in Troy where a hyperbaric chamber exploded and killed a 5-year-old boy.
there was properly trained, and in the end I left because I felt that I wasn't trained enough, along with my coworkers, and I didn't feel safe there, honestly.
Well, that is one of two former employees that we spoke to today. That blast happened on January 31st. Young Thomas Cooper didn't survive. Investigators say his family had been spending thousands to help treat the little boy's ADHD and sleep apnea. Attorney General Dana Nessel says that the center had understaffed and unlicensed workers operating the machines, which hadn't been maintained in years. Candace McDonald, who no longer works there, echoes many of those allegations.
It didn't seem like they were following safety protocols a lot, but I didn't know enough to say anything at the time. I was actually in the parking lot when the chamber exploded, so I kind of saw everything happening. And I was just kind of numb, shocked, sick to my stomach.
Well, 4 people, including the owner of the Oxford Center, they're now charged in connection to Cooper's death.
A Metro Detroit doctor accused of preying on women and children will be heading to trial. Omar Ujaz is accused of sexually assaulting a child in Novi multiple times between 2023 and 2024. He was arrested in August after investigators discovered thousands of explicit videos stored on his personal devices. In addition to the alleged sexual abuse against that child, he's also accused of secretly recording naked women and children and sexually assaulting adult patients at several hospitals. He could get life in prison if convicted.
A warning tonight about men impersonating DTE workers. Police in Clawson are investigating a scary incident. We're told that 3 men told a woman that they needed to check the electrical panel in the basement, while downstairs the woman heard footprints upstairs. She pushed her way past the men and they fled in a white pickup truck. Now remember, if someone comes to your home or business claiming to be from DTE, always ask to see a badge with a photo ID.
It is a troubling crime that is costing young lives. Thieves are taking advantage of vulnerable people online, convincing them to send X-rated photos and then threatening to share them unless they're paid handsomely.
This is called sextortion. And now the FBI Detroit office is educating the community to stop others from becoming victims. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin has the story.
I woke up on a Friday morning and saw that Jordan had texted me in the middle of the night, and it just said, "Mother, I love you."
That would be the last time Jennifer Buta of Marquette would hear from her 17-year-old son, Jordan DeMay, who ended his life after becoming the victim of sexual extortion online.
Losing Jordan is the worst thing that has ever happened to me.
Jordan left this world less than 6 hours after chatting online with someone he thought was a girl. Investigators say he sent that girl nude pictures, but it was actually 2 Nigerian brothers who allegedly threatened to send those sexual images to friends and family unless Jordan paid them money. Now,
there's several forms of online sexual exploitation.
The FBI's Detroit field office is hosting a series of webinars telling parents the dangers of online sexual exploitation. The FBI says it can be a similar plot. Someone pretending to be a girl that will reach out to a young boy on social media.
They'll exchange images, and then that boy will then receive a message saying, you need to send me money.
In Jordan's situation, it all happened so quickly in less than 6 hours, and it happened while everybody was sleeping, that nobody had a chance to, look into what was going on or see a behavior change in Jordan because it happened so quickly overnight.
The FBI has several tips on how to protect your kids. For example, block or ignore messages from strangers. Be wary of first-time online encounters, realizing people can pretend to be anyone. Keep in mind all content you post online can be made public and widely shared. And do not send any money or additional content to blackmailers.
And most importantly, reassure your children that if it does happen to them, they are the victims in this situation.
Jennifer lost her son 2 years ago, and the FBI says those 2 Nigerian brothers were extradited and charged in that case. For more information on the webinars by the FBI, log on to our website, fox2detroit.com. In downtown Detroit, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Never put a dent in the population of Canada geese. Never.
Well, that might not be true. The Department of Natural Resources has a new plan to control the Canada geese population. Instead of moving them to sanctuaries, they decided it's time to start euthanizing the nuisance birds. Their droppings are contributing to E. coli at beaches, and the geese could also spread bird flu. The DNR calls it a last effort to solve a problem and promises it will be humane. They're also hoping to process the meat safely.
Well, the recent deadly crash between a commercial airline jet and a military helicopter could change the future of aviation airspace.
A new study looks at limiting chopper access to certain areas. As Fox 2's Lauren Edwards reports, it could hurt some local helicopter businesses.
The thing about Michigan is we really run into water before we run out of gas.
Dylan Tent believes Michigan is a great market for helicopter tourism. Tent flies his helicopter mainly for his real estate business, but does a little tourism on the side.
What's fun about helicopters is the view. You know, you can go twice as far, twice as fast in a plane for a lot less money.
But all that fun may soon be restricted. The Federal Aviation Administration announcing Friday that they permanently restricted non-essential helicopter operations around Reagan National Airport in D.C., the site where a mid-air crash between a commercial plane and a military helicopter collided in late January, killing everyone on board. Additionally, the FAA is looking at other airports with, quote, high volumes of mixed traffic, like New York, L.A., Chicago, and Detroit. But Tent says Detroit is not like the others.
Here, you know, if I go do a tour, you know, I see my buddy Sergio, we wave. It's not that much traffic around this area, so I don't think that we're causing any type of, you know, congestion.
But he says if the study concludes that some restrictions need to be put in place, it could have dire consequences.
A friend of mine who has a tour operation in Detroit, they're breaking ground on a new building right now. My Flight Tours, they have locations in multiple states, and if they restricted the airspace for Detroit, it would just completely almost eliminate their business.
Tent says he may not be able to fly all the way into the city. The FAA safety study into the other airports is still going on, but he hopes helicopter tourism here in Detroit is not impacted.
I mean, we have a president that owns multiple helicopters. I don't think he'd want to kill an entire industry and American jobs personally. But yeah, I'm sure that hopefully we can come up with a good solution.
The FAA's restriction and also their subsequent study stems from NTSB's investigation into that deadly crash that happened in late January. On another note, we also reached out to the Detroit Metro Airport just to get their thoughts on everything. And they say right now they don't have a comment, largely because the study is still going on. In Waterford, Lauren Edwards on The Edge.
Finally, a successful start to a rescue mission after NASA launches the SpaceX Crew 10 from Florida tonight. The crew is on its way to the International Space Station to retrieve astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. They have been stranded up there for months. The capsule is expected to dock with the ISS late Saturday night.